Hey everyone, it's Colin. Today we're going to be talking about my all-time favorite credit card setup, the Chase Trifecta, and why it could be your favorite as well. If you're new to credit cards or you're an experienced veteran, you may have heard about this Chase Trifecta, which is a series of 3 credit cards: the Chase Freedom Unlimited, the Chase Freedom Flex, as well as the Chase Sapphire Preferred, or sometimes the Reserve. We're going to be going through what the Chase Trifecta is, what the sign-up bonuses are for the 3 cards, ways to earn points with the 3 cards, and then lastly, ways to redeem those hard-earned points that you've worked so hard to accumulate. So what is the Chase Trifecta? Whether you're new to the space or you're an experienced pro, the Chase Trifecta is one of the most talked about credit card setups in the credit card space. The 3 cards that make up this trifecta of cards are a no annual fee Chase Freedom Unlimited, a no annual fee Chase Freedom Flex, and lastly, a paid annual fee card, either consisting of the Chase Sapphire Preferred or in some cases, the Reserve. The Chase Trifecta is so popular, not only do you have great flexibility and simplicity with the ways you earn these points, but you have tremendous ways to actually redeem these points that you've accumulated from this 3-card setup. Chase has a rule called 524, which states if you have more than 5 new credit cards on the personal side in the last 24 months, Chase will not approve you for another one of their credit cards. So typically, people tend to target Chase cards early on in their journey rather than saving them till the end. Whether you're new to credit cards or you already have a whole bunch, it's not ever too late to wait to be able to get new Chase cards and really take advantage of this value and the benefit that these cards provide you with. If you're worried about having too many cards and how that may impact your credit score, check out this video linked here where I debunk the 5 biggest myths that I hear about as someone who has 10 plus credit cards. And you'll see that it really does make sense to be able to utilize the credit card game if you are paying your balance on time and in full and not paying any interest at all. So moving into the earnings categories for these 3 cards, starting with the Chase Freedom Flex. This card has 5% rotating categories as its main driver of benefit to earning points. Each quarter, the categories in which the card earns 5% back in changes. So in quarter 1, for example, of 2025, you'll earn 5% back on groceries, 5% back on Norwegian Cruise Lines, 5% back on hair, nail, and spa services, as well as 5% back on fitness and gym memberships. Each quarter, you'll have to make sure you activate this 5% category earning potential, otherwise you're gonna miss out on it. What's super great about these categories that Chase has throughout the year on the Freedom Flex is that they typically fit just about anyone's normal day-to-day spend. So in prior years, different quarters had restaurants, Amazon, and PayPal, and things like Home Depot or Walmart and Target. So you have to be on the lookout for which periods you really wanna make sure you're using this card during. In addition to these 5% categories, you'll also earn 5% back on travel through the Chase portal, 3% back on dining at restaurants as well as drugstores, and then lastly, 1% back on everything else. Next, we'll move on to the Chase Freedom Unlimited, which is another no annual fee card in this setup. It earns the same 5% back through travel in the Chase portal. So if you just use your card in the American Airlines webpage, you will not earn that 5% back. You have to specifically book travel through the Chase portal to get that 5% back. Additionally, similar to the Freedom Flex, you'll get 3% back on dining at restaurants as well as drugstores. But where the Chase Freedom Unlimited really shines is it has an enhanced 1.5% on everything else, which is why it's typically used as a catch-all card, because the purchases that you make that don't fall into a specific category on the Freedom Flex or in the Chase Sapphire Preferred that we'll talk about next, you'll really want to make sure when running this 3-card setup that you'll use the Chase Freedom Unlimited to maximize your point earning potential. Lastly, in this Chase Trifecta, we'll focus on the 3rd card, the Chase Sapphire Preferred. In some cases, the Reserve is used, but this is aimed at a little bit more of an intro video, so we'll talk about the Chase Sapphire Preferred. It's a $95 annual fee card, which sounds a little scary, but I have debunked the myth of annual fee cards being bad in my prior video. While it is $95 a year to hold this card, you do get a $50 statement credit on hotels when booked through the Chase portal. So effectively, if you use that, it's only about $45 a year. Additionally, where this card really shines is opening up the potential for the Chase travel portal to be able to pool your points from the Freedom Flex and Freedom Unlimited to be able to use them in transfer partners, which we'll get to later in this video. The Sapphire Preferred gets you 3% back on restaurants, 5% back on travel through the portal, which covers both hotels and airlines, and then it also gives you 1% back on everything else. One of the neat perks about the Sapphire Preferred is that at the end of each year, you'll get a 10% boost on the points that you've earned. So if you've earned 1,000 points during the year, for example, you'll get another 100 back at the end of the year. So while the Chase Sapphire Preferred has 3% back on categories like restaurants, you'll want to use that card instead of the Chase Freedom Unlimited or Chase Freedom Flex, for example, because effectively you're getting another 10% boost on that 3% back. So let's get into sign-up bonuses with these cards. Sign-up bonuses are periods when you open new cards where you spend a certain amount of money in the given time to get a boost of additional points beyond just your normal point spend from your normal spending. For the Freedom Flex and the Freedom Unlimited, it's an offer of after spending $500 in 3 months, you'll get $200 back or 20,000 points. And this is important because in the points earning potential, those can be moved to the Chase Sapphire Preferred and redeemed at higher valuations for travel, or moved to transfer partners where you'll get even more value from these points. For the Chase Sapphire Preferred, typically it's $4,000 spend in the first 3 months from opening the card to get 60,000 points. Chase is known to run elevated sign-up offers for the Sapphire Preferred throughout the year. Some offers have been 75,000 or even as high as 90,000 points. And so you'll want to be on the lookout for targeting signing up during one of those periods if possible. So now that you have these 3 cards and have hopefully utilized the sign-up bonuses on all of them, you'll be sitting with a good base of at least 100,000 points from the sign-up bonuses, as well as additional points just earned normally from your spending during these sign-up periods. So we're going to walk through 3 different scenarios of redeeming points within this Chase ecosystem. For starters, the base valuation of receiving cash back on these points is valued at 1 cent per point. So if we look at the 100,000 points just from the sign-up offer, you're sitting at $1,000 of cash back just from opening these 3 cards and using them as you normally would. The second scenario we'll look at is transferring the points from your Freedom Flex and Freedom Unlimited to your Chase Sapphire Preferred within the Chase portal. This gives you an extra boost on your value of, instead of $1,000 in cash back, you'll get $1,250 if redeemed on travel through the portal. The third scenario is expert mode, which is utilizing the Chase Sapphire's transfer partners through Chase, such as Hyatt, for example, which is my favorite, as well as hotels like Marriott. By moving your points to these other transfer partners, you'll be able to get enhanced value on your bookings. So for example, if we were to move Chase points to Hyatt, utilizing the Chase Sapphire Preferred Transfer Partner portal, then we'll be able to book this Hyatt hotel at enhanced rates versus booking the same hotel in the travel portal. So usually Hyatt points, you try to aim for about a 2 cent per point redemption offer. So that $1,000 in cash back comes closer to $2,000 of travel value when transferred to Hyatt and utilized through booking on their portal. But beware, you can only transfer points one way. You can't transfer them back. So you need to be sure that you're gonna be using those points that are earmarked for that booking through a transfer partner, because there's no way, once you send them to Hyatt, for example, no way to send those points back to Chase. You wanna make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's before making that transfer and making sure that you're planning and coming to the best point redemption possible or use of your points. So there we have it. There's a breakdown on my favorite credit card setup, the Chase Trifecta. Hopefully you found something useful of not only is it very simple and easy to use, but you can get a lot of value from this very basic 3-card setup. Make sure you check out the video up here for credit card myths that will hopefully inspire you to go out there and play this game to its full advantage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.